Welcome along to episode 831 of the Milk Bar. Jason Forrest here with you as ever. And coming up on the show this week, Eddie Loodmer-Elliot tells us all about ghost stories, which is at the Grand in July. Emily Thompson from Compton Care tells us about the first Cuppa for Compton week. We'll be catching up with Jimmy Tarbuck to tell us about his appearance at the Grand coming up in June. Rachel Wilde lets us know about the big plant out from the first Albrighton Scouts. Sam Evans and Shauna Guinn join us to talk about barbecue season and getting things right when it comes to cooking on an open griddle. Plus, we'll be hearing from Brendan Turner. He's helping to raise funds for Compton Care with the Lord Bilston Big Challenge for 2025. That's all on the way on the show this week.
Welcome to the Milk Bar. 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 Welcome to the Milk Bar.
Ghost Stories is at the Wolverhampton Grand from the 1st through to the 5th of July. Eddie Loodmer-Elliot is part of the cast and joins me now to tell me what's going on, or at least what he can of what's going on. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, very well, thank you. And thank you for saying what I can say, because I have been briefed beyond an inch of my life about how I can't say this, or this about things. So
It's part of the magic of a show like this, though, isn't it? The fact there is mystery around it, and the terrifying nature of this will have audiences literally on the edge of those seats.
yeah. I mean, some people do have to stand up. They're so stressed that they can't actually sit down. We've had people actually be told to sit down in their seats because they just need to like stand up so they feel like they've got their wits about them. So yeah, it will.
Okay, so where did all this begin? What's the story behind this one? Because I mean, you got the League of Gentlemen's Jeremy Dyson and Andy Nyman. This is a show which is different in its approach and a different way to theatre than many other shows.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's both innovative but also like the most old school way of telling a show, in the sense that the writing team of Andy and Jeremy got inspired by old school circus style, come and see the Elephant Man or come and see the blah 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 kind of style of storytelling, where they were very like demonstrative and it felt very circus and very freak show esque. That's probably the right thing to say, freak show esque. And so that's where the inspiration for the show came from. And then they created the show in 2010 with the lyric in Hammersmith that was Ghost Stories as it is now.
Mhm.
And that show, since it's literally it was had a run at the lyric, just went from success to success to success. This was a show that has recently been described by the Liverpool Echo, I think, as it makes The Woman in Black look like Peppa Pig, the musical. It is full blown horror in like the funnest of ways, but with all the kind of high production value that you'd see in any West End show, because it is a West End show. So you'd see the same sort of production value in things like Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. We've got moving set. We've got so many different ways to scare the audience and ways to tell the stories that we're telling, that like really is a sight to behold. And I truly have never seen a show like it. I remember seeing the show, 15 years ago when it first was. There was a lot of hype around it when it first came out in 2010.
Mhm.
It then went on to the West End for another transfer in 2019, where it was at the Ambassadors Theatre. And then after that, in 2020, it went on its international tour. But obviously, that tour got
Curtailed. Yes.
yes. And so now we're back on that tour. So that's the tour we're on now. And so at the moment we're in Birmingham, next week we're in Belfast, and then eventually we'll be in Wolverhampton in July. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Well, that's something to look forward to. And tell us a little about Simon Riffkind, your part in the show.
Bless Simon. Simon is you just have to look at the way he's dressed to know that he's a little bit like an in-betweener. He is someone that is still quite young. He's probably about just under 10 years younger than I am as an actor, but he is adorable, but also quite lame. I'd say he's probably a bit of a loser. But he is haunted as opposed to doing any haunting. So the audience are really with Simon on his journey. And so it helps how pathetic he is because it helps kind of get the audience on his team because they sort of see him as a sort of puppy,
Uh,
in a sense.
and
Um,
what's his relationship like with Professor Goodman?
Well, so Simon, it's the story in general is that Professor Goodman is a massive cynic. He is an investigator of paranormal psychology, but is a big cynic and doesn't really believe that anything is supernatural or spiritual, and believes that everything has got a very practical solution to it or explanation behind it.
Mhm.
Except for there are three stories that he just can't quite get his head around. And Simon's is the middle story that he tells during the show, which he just can't quite understand what happened there. And so that's Simon's relationship with Goodman, is that he goes and he tries to meet Goodman so that Goodman can give him some answers and explanations as to what's been happening to him. And that's all I'll say for now, I think.
But the show itself, I mean, will be truly terrifying. The fact that you've got these paranormal experiences being brought to life on stage, and
Yeah.
the way in which it really triggers your thoughts in theatre. We see so much on film and TV these days with the amazing effects that you can do digitally. This isn't digital. This is all physical effects
Oh
on
yeah.
stage.
Yeah. Oh, this is like, yeah, as old school, like everything is real as we can do. Even the tricks, I say tricks, even the like the illusions that we tell on stage. There are probably much more modern ways of doing the certain things that we want to do. But we find that just by doing the very old school, real magician style stuff on stage is the best way still. Nothing digital. We've got a projector that we need for the sort of framing of the story, which is
Hmm.
that we are at one of Goodman's lectures and he's
Hmm.
talking about the stories that he can't get his head around. So he uses a projector and slides for that. But that's pretty much as high tech as we go on the kind of digital aspect. Everything else is as real as it gets. And we have touch tours because people want to touch things and explore things and get involved with the set. And I'll tell you, the backstage looks as scary as anything because you see all the things like in the dark, ready to go. And I remember when I first did the show, I bumped into a mannequin backstage that I was absolutely jumped out of my skin at. So yeah, it really is the real deal.
I like the concept that you're going to be going to many, many theatres that have an amazing vintage around the country. Wolverhampton Grand has its own ghost stories too.
Oh,
Have
yeah.
any of the residents who are not of this world in theatres sort of partaken in the show that you've noticed so far?
Well, not that I can tell, but we've had ghost stories be told to us by the front of house at almost every single theatre we've gone to.
Hmm.
We've gone to now about 20 or so theatres for the last 20 weeks. And in each one, we have heard a new story, which is always very chilling. So, and I'm a strong believer in ghosts. So I'm very happy to kind of be told as much as I can be told. But in terms of in the show itself, I think it would be too on the nose for a ghost to show up actually in the story. But
They'll,
maybe
yeah, they'll enjoy it as much as the audience, though, won't they?
exactly, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
at the Grand, if there is a hint of lavender, if that aroma arrives with you
Mm.
on stage, you know that one of the local incumbents, who's I believe a grey lady, who is enjoying and has probably turned up without a ticket.
Oh, really? So lavender is the smell that is
Yeah,
like
that they are associated with one of the boxes up there. I have been on a bit of a
oh,
ghostly tour of the Grand, so
oh, great. Okay, well, I will be sniffing out for it. We
okay.
also bring our own smells into the show, so there will be smells that the audience will experience.
So
Um,
this is a truly interactive and immersive experience, and it runs without an interval as well. So there's no sneaking off halfway through or
yeah.
not coming back because you're too petrified to see any more of it.
In fact, we've got quite a strict policy. So anyone that is planning to come, do go for a wee before the show because it's no readmittance. We want to keep everyone locked in their seats until the end of the experience. So I say experience. That was kind of how it is. So yeah.
Well, it's 1 hour and 40 minutes on stage. It is strictly 15 plus, and make sure you've got good bladder control because it is required to get you through the whole of the show. And any other thing, I mean, if it is going to be quite scary, and that's genuine, isn't it? It is one of those shows where you will be.
It
It's
is.
a the sort of skin crawl on the back of your neck type thing.
It is. And you know what? It's I think 1 hour 40 was our maybe our older running time. It's now only 85 minutes, so don't have to hold your bladder for too long. But it really is scary. Yeah, I mean, it's not one of those things that I'm saying it's scary and you'll be disappointed. It might not be like this. I mean, depends on your disposition. Some people find it absolutely terrifying, can't talk after the show. Some people throw up, it's so scary. Some people probably don't find it scary or come in with a massive sense of I'm not going to be scared. And that's also so fine because they always enjoy the show, because the actual story behind the show is a really thought about, brilliant story. That's why the show's been made into a film. That's why the show's been gone on transfers and extensions, and it's now extending again into the West End at the end of the summer, into October and spooky season. So it won't die, and that's because of the story, not because of the scares. But the scares, remember, it makes the Woman in Black look like Peppa the Pig, the musical. So that is...
It all enhances ghostly storytelling at its finest with ghost stories at the Grand, 1st through to the 5th of July. 01902 429212 is the box office number, grandtheatre.co.uk to grab your tickets. Eddie, Loodmer-Elliot, have an amazing time as part of this tour. We look forward to having you in Wolverhampton. Break a leg and be ready for some terrifying moments on stage.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Now, with 70% of people enjoying a barbecue, it's getting the skills right, getting the food right, and enjoying that great big outdoor cookout that is going to make a family event fantastic. Stars of Sam and Shauna's Big Cookout are here to tell me how to get it right. How are you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Jason?
Great.
Oh, good. Right. Okay. So, barbecuing. I think we a lot of the time have that one person in the family who seems to think that they are the master of the barbecue. They're not always that good, are they? What makes a good barbecuer?
Well, first of all, you need 2 female fire starters, and we'll be getting our sizzle on this weekend with our Napoleon barbecue and cooking up a storm. And we're just praying for good weather.
Well, this is it. You always want to make sure that the sun shines on your sausages there cooking on the griddle. But I think with this research from Napoleon Grills, I mean, we're seeing that it's people want to get the food right, and they know once they've got the correct grill, they've got to make sure what you're putting on it is quality. And whether you're going, meat eating, vegetarian, vegan, pescatarian, whatever it is, it's just getting the flavors right that make the difference.
And I think it's also getting the right barbecue as well and using the right fuel. I think there's lots of different factors that can give you a perfect barbecue every time.
So where do we start? Obviously, the grill, let's begin there.
Well, listen, it doesn't matter whether you're cooking on a gas grill or a charcoal barbecue or even a travel barbecue. It's, you can in the back garden, on your balcony, on the beach. And when I think about British barbecue, Jason, we are a nation of global flavors. So whether it's jerk chicken, tandoori, Peking duck, satay skewers, let's think bigger than burnt burgers and sausages.
And yeah, I think that is actually something that adds a bit of interest to it too, doesn't it? And when you are putting maybe a kebab on the barbecue, include some vegetables in it as well as if you are going for meat. But mixing it up a little bit and making sure your marinades are right.
Well, and also, why not cook your vegetables directly in the coals, for extra flavor? If you're a vegetarian and you don't have a barbecue, you are missing out, because there's nothing that elevates things like butternut squash or peppers, onions, even chilies in the barbecue. That will really up your barbecue game, and it's really visual and colorful, and when people come for a barbecue, that's what they want to see.
And people like to show off with their barbecue, and if they're going for one of the Prestige Pro series from Napoleon, then they are definitely going to need a big garden.
Kind of. I mean, they are designed to sort of fit into most gardens.
Oh, well, I'm thinking of the number of people you're going to be feeding on this thing, because this is a food producing monster.
But you can feed a small army, and I think with these, particularly with the grills that we've got, Napoleon barbecue, you've got some cool, funky little features on it. One of them has got this amazing sizzle zone, which for me is a foolproof steak every single time. And so we use it all the time. We use it on on chicken breasts, on whole chickens, steaks. It's just brilliant. So that's one of our tips. Like, make barbecuing easy for yourself by getting yourself a decent grill.
And also, if you've got a charcoal barbecue, you can buy attachments like rotisserie attachments, so that you could do like a whole chicken or a whole rump cap and just have it a porchetta, something that's just slowly rotating in the background. You know, like the Pro 22 charcoal, the one that Napoleon have, the one that we have, they've got fantastic rotisserie attachments. And every time somebody comes to a barbecue in our back garden, they go, wow, what is that rotating in the background?
That sounds fantastic. See, the fact they have something called the Rogue Pro Series, I got you down as that, to be fair.
Well, as a Star Wars fan, it floats my boat as a Star Wars fan as well. So.
Now, when it comes down to the way which we serve our food, are you paper plates? Do you have Tupperware for the garden? What do you do to make that right?
Well, I think it goes without saying, you shouldn't go to somebody's barbecue without a bit of Tupperware, because we always tend to over cater, I think, in the UK, and as people that barbecue, you know, you just want to be generous with those serves, but generally, I mean, it's always a bit elegant if you serve on proper plates. I think it's all about elevating barbecue, and another one of my tips is, like, I think sometimes we do go a little bit over the top, so we'll make the 5 coleslaws, the potato salads, we'll have the buns, the sausage. I think we need to stop viewing it as a buffet and more viewing it as a meal. So, for example, Jason, if you came round, I wanted to cook you a porchetta with some beautiful rosemary roast potatoes and maybe a gorgeous fennel and orange salad. I could either cook that indoors or outdoors, but I'm making one meal on my one barbecue. And so that's the way we need to sort of view it, I think. So it's less waste, less hassle, because you're focused on specific ingredients.
And when it comes to who's doing the cooking on the day, obviously you have to identify with the help of an apron so they know who's in charge.
It must have the slogan "License to Grill" on it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And or Daddy's barbecue.
Other than the rotisserie, what are your favourite accessories when it comes down to barbecue?
Well, you know, yesterday we had a fantastic day with Napoleon Barbecue down at the barbecue shop in Woking. And one of the things that we use is a fish basket. Now, you can't just use a fish basket for fish. You can also use it for chicken, vegetables, protein. And what we love about a fish basket, it means that you can ram it full of delicious food. And when you put it on the barbecue, it's very portable. You can move it around. So instead of turning 20 individual chicken thighs, you can just pick up your basket, turn it over once, and away you go.
It's for sure my favorite accessory. I mean, I hope I'm always using it right, but I'm always finding new ways of using it. I just think it's just so versatile. And a fish basket, even in its essence, it's used to be cooking fish. Your fish doesn't stick to it, which I know is always a problem when we're barbecuing, you know, the fish sticking to the grill. People tend to avoid doing fish on the barbecue, but that little fish basket, I'm telling you, I have used it. Mine are looking quite battered now. I think I need to get some more.
But also, Jason, you know, in terms of safety first, the one thing that every barbecue chef should have in their arsenal is an instant read thermometer.
Definitely.
Why stand around scratching your head, wondering if something's cooked, when you can just get a probe, an instant read thermometer, and you can probe it. It'll tell you exactly the temperature that it's at, because the worst thing that can happen is you go around someone's house for a barbecue and they say, "What did you get from the barbecue?" And it wasn't just the food.
No, well, this is the advantage of something like having a proper barbecue, because you know you're going to get good heat balance across it as well. And that's where Napoleon grills come in, because once you've got it set up properly, you know what you're getting. Those disposable ones, they don't, half the time they it's heat one end, not the other. It's uneven. You want to be able to control it, and your fish basket there as well. I mean, you also want to make sure that you're getting just fish scales stuck to your grill, and then it doesn't. And everybody gets a bit of fish scale in the burger. You do it right. You use your accessories, and that way you enjoy perfect cuisine.
And listen, for the last 13 years, we've been on a mini campaign to ban the disposable barbecues, because not only are they horrible to cook on for the reasons that you've just said, the charcoal and the fuel in it is an absolute horror story. If we can buy British lump wood charcoal and wood, that's a better start. But, you know, a travel barbecue. Napoleon do a fantastic travel barbecue. And it doesn't matter if you've got a tiny little balcony in a flat in London or you're cooking on a beach in Wales. There's no reason to be buying disposable barbecues, because you can buy a portable one with really reasonably. It'll last you for 20 years if you look after it. And it means you just can get out and about, whether you're up a mountain, on a beach, by the river, fishing. Travel barbecues are the future.
Yeah, man, and it'll be recyclable when it does come to the end of its life.
Absolutely.
Because you've battered it so many times in and out of the car.
We have a barbecue cookery school in our back garden in South Wales, and we get a lot of people that come that are into caravanning, camper vanning, and camping, and the travel barbecue is your best friend in that scenario.
Well, it's all about getting some great food. Whenever you're celebrating with friends and family, where can we go to find out more about what you two guys are up to start off with? And then, of course, the website for Napoleon Grills.
So you can follow us on simonshauna.com, where we do a whole range of different barbecue classes. But Jason, I want to invite you to our favourite festival of the year, which is Carfest. And if you want to come and learn more about barbecue, for the 4th year in the row, we're going to be hosting the Napoleon Big Barbecue Cookout stage with some of the best celebrity chefs, Michelin star chefs in the country. It's an open invitation to you, Jason. If you want to come down to Carfest, we'll get you up on stage and we'll show you how it's done.
And we can try your tasty chicken thighs that have been cooked in your fish basket at the same time.
That's a delicacy. That's a delicacy.
You'll be convinced, let me tell you.
I'm already sold. I am I'm mentally there, even if I'm not physically there yet. But there we go. Napoleon Grills have got their website. Give that a Google. See their full range of fantastic products and see what you can go to town on with these two girls doing what they do best, and that's making sure everybody's fed and happy. Sam Evans, Shauna Guinn, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Jason. Have a great weekend.
Thanks for having us.
Now, the first ever Cuppa for Compton week is taking place from the 6th through to the 13th of June. It starts with National Donut Day, ends with National Lemon Drizzle Day, and there's going to be loads of fantastic drinks and cakes quaffed in between. To tell us more, I'm joined now by events manager Emily Thompson. Good afternoon.
Hi, Jason. How are you?
I'm good. I hope we find you well.
Yeah, all good. Thank you. Enjoying the sunshine that we're having.
I know this comes along, and I think it's the right weather to be enjoying a cuppa and a slice of cake, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Sitting outside with your cup of tea and your cream cake. What could be better?
This is perfect. So it's also something very new, and you've enlisted the help of a long-time supporter of Compton Care now. Somebody who originally is from Dundee, is known for their appearance on Bake Off, and I hadn't realised was living in Albrighton.
Yeah, that's correct. So we've got Nikki Laceby is on board to support us with Cuppa for Compton. So it's really great to be working with Nikki on this campaign for us. So as you said, Cuppa for Compton starts on National Donut Day and ends on National Lemon Drizzle Day. So we've got some recipes within our pack, and Nikki will be sharing some unique twists on her own lemon drizzle cake. So she'll be sharing those on her Instagram channel for us.
So yeah, it's very much like an episode of Bake Off, just without the tent, without the Hollywood handshakes, but with the cake, which is absolutely a staple to enjoying yourself. I think that's pretty much a given. No one's ever had a bad experience with cake, have they? I'm sure of it.
No, I don't think so. Everyone loves a bit of cake or cake with their tea or coffee, don't they? So yeah, it'll be a great event. So we've given it a bit of a focus this year, having that whole week dedicated to Cuppa for Compton, and our coffee shops will be getting involved as well. So our coffee shops will be open throughout the week and offering a Cuppa for Compton deal of £5 for a slice of cake and a cup of tea or coffee.
And of course, all of this raising funds for Compton Care. And whilst it is all happening during this Cuppa for Compton week, what can people do to raise funds to make sure that we continue the amazing work that the hospice brings?
So they can do their own Cuppa for Compton. So you can register online on our website, and we will send you out your own personalised Cuppa for Compton pack. So within the pack, there's plenty of recipes for you to try. There's some posters for you to advertise your event, balloons, and we've also got some Cuppa for Compton coasters and cake labels as well. So you've got everything that you need within your Cuppa for Compton pack to create your own perfect event with your friends, your families, or your colleagues, or if you're part of a sporting group or anything like that. So everyone can get involved in Cuppa for Compton, kids, schools, everyone. It's really something for everybody to get involved in.
And I think that the great bit is you can make a cake that suits your taste, whether you're going egg-free, dairy-free, or whether you're just indulging in something which is rather naughty and full of sugar. You'll be having a great time enjoying a bit of buttercream and making sure that you make the most of raising some funds and raised not only a cup but also a slice of cake to Compton. And Nikki, as you say, she's on Instagram. She's going to be sharing loads of stuff on there. Nikki Bakes a Lot is her Insta handle, so you can find her that way. And because sometimes we do see quite a few bake-off contestants. I think Nikki was the one who baked a beaver, wasn't she?
I believe so, yes.
Yes, and I think we'll leave that there. But
she's famous for.
some amazing skills. There'll be some amazing recipes. Your chance to try out one of her recipes, which I think is absolutely brilliant. Whether you're going for the National Donut Day donut muffin or whether you fancy those special takes on the lemon drizzle, then it's going to be great, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And if you do go to our coffee shops throughout the week, we will be selling raffle tickets as well to enter a raffle to win a bake-off book, a science spatula that Nikki uses, and also a little cake tester as well. So that's a nice little prize to win if you're a massive bake-off fan as well. So we are also doing a staff bake-off at Compton Hall as well. So Nikki will be judging that. So that'll be a bit of fun for our staff to get involved in and raise a bit of money as well for Compton.
Brilliant. Well, it's all for a good cause. If people want to get their packs, they need to get in there quick so they can have some balloons around that table in the office. So what do we have to do?
Just register online at our website, comptoncare.org, and search for Cuppa for Compton, and all the details will be on there.
Simple as that. Well, what's your favourite cake?
I don't know, actually. I think it may be a lemon drizzle or a cream tea. You can't beat a scone with,
Scones are good. They make tea work particularly well. Emily Thompson, Community and Events Manager at Compton Care, thank you for joining us.
Thanks so much, Jason. It's been lovely to see you again.
Now, on Wednesday, there's going to be some planting taking place around Albrighton. The big plant out is going to bring more greenery to the Shropshire town than ever before. To tell us more, I'm joined now of our first Albrighton Scouts and teacher in the area, Rachel Wild. How you doing?
Hello, nice to meet you.
Good to meet you too. And you've got a busy time of it, haven't you?
We have. The young people have been busy creating goodie bags for the whole community. So every child from nursery age all the way up to year 6 have had a goodie bag with wildflower seeds for them to plant over Easter. And then we're hoping that we have lots of people coming to the verge along the Newport Road in Albrighton to plant out their wildflowers.
And this is going to bring some colour, not only for the motorists as they go past, the pedestrians as they walk by, and it's going to make Albrighton even more welcoming than ever before.
Yes, I mean, the big steer is for improving the biodiversity of the verges and encouraging our young people to connect with nature and also to realise just how important pollinators are for our environment, really.
Absolutely. And so the flowers look great to us. They look even more amazing to passing insects.
Absolutely. In our society, more and more we've got tarmac drives, farming practices have basically there's less and less havens for our little busy bees to get nectar. So quite often you might see dead bees on the side of the roads, and that's just plainly because they're absolutely exhausted. So that's kind of the message that we've been putting forward simply to our younger scout group, and they're really invested in trying to help our pollinators and invertebrates and in turn birds and mammals.
It's all one big cycle, isn't it? That's the thing, we forget
absolutely.
that. And so you protect your pollinators, you protect our food chain, because the farmers around Albrighton are going to love you as well for the fact that there's going to be more pollinators in the area.
We hope so. So, we're trying to, along the verge, along the Newport Road, we're hoping to also connect pockets of other pockets of nature corridors in the village. So we're very lucky that we've got a local nature reserve, which is in close proximity to the Newport Road Verge. Just across the road, I've been part of a parish council rewilding project, which is named Coronation Garden. So our young people have been involved and been helping myself and other councillors with the rewilding project there as well. So some of the pictures that we've taken recently that you can see on our Facebook page are of the children visiting this site, and that's about a year on. So you can actually see the lovely wildflowers that the children helped to plant last year, and so that gives them a sense of what we can achieve along the verges.
The pollinators do their bit, and you got a chance for new growth next year. That's
it, and just trying to explain to them that the phrase that's been coined, sort of "no mow May," that actually it's not just in May. We need to not mow our gardens and just think about completing the wildflower life cycle, so that things that are in the garden or things that you've planted intentionally to help pollinators, that they can grow, they can flower, eventually drop their seeds, and then those seeds then go into the seed bank ready for the following spring.
Absolutely. And I think this is the good part of it. They start to learn the importance of it with, say, no mow May. Actually, once you've not mown for May, you're thinking how wonderful it all looks, and you keep at least a corner of it in that rewilded sort of position with the grass. So you might do some of it because you want the kids to play with it in the barbecue, but keep part of it just so you've got those wonderful garden flowers and plants for the bees and birds to enjoy. So more than 1,000 plant plugs is the estimation that you've got going out there. You have some amazing support from Mid-Counties Co-op too, and this is all about making a change, being good for the environment, making an aesthetically pleasing environment at the same time, and educating the kids. This is win-win-win-win-win-win-win. It's nearly as many hats as you've got the number of wins we've got here.
Nearly. I've got quite a few hats, but yeah, absolutely. Each child with their wildflowers, we estimated that they could grow about 6 little newspaper pots, which they're going to grow. So if all those people who've had a little goodie bag with their wildflower seeds all grow some wildflowers, then hopefully we'll have hundreds. We've got quite a few out the front of my house and quite a few at the scout den that the children have done as well. But what's really lovely is it's not just the young people that have shown an interest and a commitment to this. I'm walking along the village, which is a lovely friendly village, and people are saying, "Oh, what are the arrangements for Wednesday, Rach? I've been growing my plants." People that you wouldn't necessarily ordinarily think that were sort of plant growers. So we've got young and old. We've got some people from one of our local clubs, the Melville Club, they've committed to growing some plants, and they'll be leaving them there for us to collect. So I'm hoping that it's not just the Scout group, that this is a real community feel, and we want everybody to be involved.
Yeah,
because it is our community at the end of the day.
Absolutely, and say Albrighton's a lovely village. I have to say, the nature reserve, it has probably been 3 decades since I was last there, so I'm a bad boy. I need to come back and explore and see the good work that you're doing. Head down that Newport Road. St Mary's Church of England Primary School doing amazing stuff. Obviously, the first Albrighton Scout group get out there doing this too. Thanks again to everybody in the village who's enjoyed being part of this. The big plant out is coming the 28th of May. Your chance to be part of something that is going to be good for our pollinators, great for the environment, but good for us too. And just getting out there and planting, that's going to be good fun, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, the biggest driver for getting young people to connect with nature is, yes, getting them to understand about their environment and appreciate it. But actually, selfishly, it's about our well-being too. So if you engage with those green spaces, you do get a sense of well-being, but also a sense of achievement that you've been part of something a little bit bigger. I mean, this project isn't just a short project. It's, to really see it coming to fruition, it's going to be several years, and each year, the children should see the impact of the things that, the planting that they've been part of.
And it helps
so
them
that's quite
respect the area as well. Sorry. And it helps them respect the area that they're in too, because they're part of making it look good, feel good, and be great for that environment too. So it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Give us the Facebook pages where we can find out more about the work that you're doing.
Okay, so first Albrighton Scouts. You'll be able to see some recent pictures of some of the things that the children have been doing. We've got some lovely pictures of our young people with posters and with their plants that they've been growing to try and encourage other people. Say, come on, make sure that you're growing your plants and water them, because it's been quite dry. And actually, usually we want lovely warm weather, but I have to say, sorry everybody, but I have been praying for a bit of rain.
Fingers crossed. Well, let's have it rain Tuesday into Wednesday. Let you get the plants into the ground soft. Maybe a little bit of rain again Wednesday into Thursday. And then if it rains overnight, it's just watering everybody's plants for us, isn't it? That works.
Absolutely.
Right,
yeah.
You've organised this so well. I'm sure you can organise the weather too. Rachel Wild from First Albrighton Scouts, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
The Lord Turner Big Challenge is back for 2025, the biannual fundraising event, which is putting cash into Compton Care. Brendan Turner joins me now to tell me about this year's escapades. How are you doing, sir?
Jason, how are you, mate?
Always good to talk to you. Feeling full of life, as I'm sure you are, with yet another challenge ahead of you.
Yes, mate. The training's well and truly kicked in now. We're about 7 weeks. It's week number 7 of the training plan. So, yes, it's starting to ramp up a little bit now.
Okay, so what on earth are you up to? Because it differs every time you do this.
Okay, well, we've just gone a little bit bigger this time.
You say that every time, and it is always loads bigger.
Well, it gets a little bit more challenging. You see, each time we've done one, then we have to try and find the next challenge. So this year we will be doing the National Three Peaks, which is obviously Ben Nevis, Scafell Pike, and Snowdon. And we'll be cycling in between each of the 3 peaks. So we're going to start in Ben Nevis on the 24th of July, and then we're going to ascend on the Thursday, and then we're going to cycle all day the Friday to Wasdale to walk up Scafell. We'll do that on the morning of the 26th, and then we will cycle to Snowdon. And then the following day, on the 27th, we'll walk up Snowdon and cycle back to Wolverhampton.
So this is going to be big, huge, busy, absolutely mad. And obviously raising funds that are much needed for Compton Care, but also, as ever, remembering your fantastic dad.
Yeah, indeed, mate, indeed. It's been 11 years now since we lost him. And obviously Compton Care played a massive role in the process before he passed away with the family. And that was obviously, it was tough times for the family, but I think Compton Care kind of eased that process for us. If there is a way to ease that process, then they certainly did that for us. And I'm forever in their debt, really. So hence why we keep on pushing. And equally, all the team who do it with me also dig in just as much with their own personal experiences for Compton, mate. So, it's nice for them to have personal experiences and also want to jump on the bandwagon with me to support me with my experience as well. So, yeah, there's lots of passion out there, lots of enthusiasm, and a lot of people doing a lot of good things for Compton Care, to be honest.
Yeah, a lot of passion because of their compassion when you needed it absolutely most. And they're always there for the families as well as those who are their loved ones who are sadly nearing the end of their time when they become involved with the site itself. And there's so many people they look after to allow them to live life because of the way they help and look after people in the community. So it is brilliant what they do. And I know that, so you say, you're forever in the debt. I think the amount of money that you've raised, you of all people are probably closer to paying that debt off more than anybody else. But it's just what they've done for you and your family, which means you just got to keep going with it.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah, there's a never-ending supply of people who need the support from Compton, And I think, with the experience that I've had with Compton, I think it's important that we try to ensure that anybody who is in that position and they do need help has the opportunity to have Compton by the side, the toughest times in your life, really.
Mm-hmm. The challenge is on the way. What do people do to get involved? Because obviously you and the teams are set up, but it's always good to know that there's cash coming through, and sometimes there are support opportunities as well.
Yes, well, we've got a main sponsor, which is Central Window Systems from over in West Brom. A client of mine. He's gladly supported us over the last 3 challenges, so it's brilliant to have him in place, because paying for all the fuel we need on the way, paying for all the equipment we're going to need, bags, T-shirts, all this sort of stuff needs printing and support for us. So that's brilliant. And then other than that, really, it's just getting people on board just to either sponsor us or, donate to the Lord Bilston Big Challenge for Compton Care, really. It's just trying to get this £40,000 that is our target this year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just trying to get people aware and donating to this great charity, Compton Care.
And they can get in touch, get donations to you, but they can also do this on the website as well. So
they can get through on the Just Giving page. So we've got a team page, which is the Lord Bilston Big Challenge. I think the strapline is Lord Bilston /team/25.
Okay, that's the way to track it down. And you can find that via the Facebook page as well. There's links from your Facebook page.
There is links from my Facebook page, and any of the team members. They've all got a Just Giving page linked to the Lord Bilston main page. So any sponsors that come in or donations that come in will be registered on individuals' pages, and then that will be calculated on the central Lord Bilston Big Challenge page as well.
So get in touch. July is only weeks away. You're pretty much about halfway through the training period, aren't you? Because it's about 7 weeks away from where we're sitting now.
We're roughly halfway through the training program. Yes. So obviously the last 2 weeks there'll not be that much going on. So we've really got until the early part of July to get as much training as we can, really.
Yeah, that last 2 weeks are carb loading, aren't they? Because you've got to be ready for that bit.
We'll be fueling up, mate. Believe that. That's a definite.
That's the fun bit after the pain of the train, and then of course what you put yourselves through when you do these challenges. And I know you enjoy it, even though it is difficult times. There'll be sore bits for weeks afterwards, but it's about raising the awareness, raising the funds, remembering your fantastic dad, and of course just highlighting the amazing work that Compton Care do.
Absolutely, mate. Couldn't have said it better myself.
So
absolutely perfect.
Get your cash in, get involved if that's possible, but be there and say that the fact that you've got such a great main sponsor doing what they do for you as well really makes it worthwhile, and it means that all the funds are going straight to Compton Care that are raised. Not a penny comes out of the charity donations, does it?
Absolutely, yeah. All the participants, they pay for themselves to do the challenge. So anything that comes in from sponsorship or donations, indeed, is straight into the Compton Care pot.
Right, you keep doing what you do. It's absolutely amazing. Good luck with it. Have a great time out on the road. Keep that training going. You're going to niggle it because you are challenging yourself. The phrase "big challenge" has never been so true when it comes to what you do for this charity and the rest of the team. Brendan Turner, always a pleasure to speak to you. Thank you for joining us, and have an amazing time out on the road and up some amazing mountains too.
Thank you, Jace. Much appreciated, mate. Thank you.
Now, Jimmy Tarbuck is back at the Grand on the 17th of June. It is an evening with Jimmy Tarbuck, real-life Tarby on stage, and he joins me now to tell me more about what he has in store. How are you doing, sir?
Well, I'm fine. I'm enjoying it immensely, and with great respect to Wolverhampton, these older theatres are wonderful.
Absolutely. It's a theatre with a vintage, as you are a performer with a vintage, not quite as old as the Grand, but I think it is a perfect venue for somebody who knows how to project, who knows how to work a crowd, and knows how to have a good time in a theatre.
Well, if you analyse it, take the London Palladium, the most famous theatre in the world. it's in the round, and Wolverhampton is the same in the round. So the laughs come out of the audience back to you. It's a wonderful feeling, I promise you.
Absolutely. You must be inundated as well because, when you hold an audience, they know that they're going to hear not only some amazing stories, but have a good laugh along the way. But the Grand itself is a theatre that you're no stranger to. In fact, with your appearance in Panto to celebrate an anniversary a few years ago, obviously you're well loved by Wolverhampton audiences.
They're nice people up there, and they come out for a laugh. And they want to have a bit of fun, and I join them. I like it very much in the Midlands. With great respect, I know there's rivalry with Birmingham and Wolverhampton. Of course there is. There's rivalry with Liverpool and Manchester. You know, it just happens.
Well, yeah, Liverpool's my favourite of those two, and Wolverhampton is my favourite in the Midlands, obviously. And I think, it's part of local ribbing and part of the fun and audiences playing off against each other. And I know many comedians use those local rivalries when they go around somewhere. But this isn't just a night of stand-up from you, is it? This is actually a night of you standing up to tell a few tales.
Well, yes, I ask them what they want to hear. You know, and I let them go where they want to go, and I try and answer them. And in between, I'm telling a few gags, obviously, and enjoying myself. I never thought I'd be doing this at my age, and it's just a lovely feeling.
Well, let's discuss the age thing because you are in the 80s now, aren't you?
I am 85.
And the lifestyle that all you had back in the 60s, I'm amazed so many of you made it through to such senior years.
No one more amazed than me, I promise you faithfully. A lot of my dear, dear friends have left us, and I'll name one or two. Kenny Lynch, Scylla, people, little Ronnie Corbett, Frankie Vaughan, Harry Seagam. All most important, all nice people.
And nice people that I know be telling us more about your time and interactions with them. And because, the comedy, the entertainment that we saw, you've talked about the Palladium, shows live from there with so many great names over so many decades. And I think we forget really that the talent that's been honed on stages across the UK and the fact that, this is variety was such an important part of our lives, and it should still be now.
Well, it's been a little bit of a miracle for me, and I'm looking at it, and I never thought I'd be asked to America by Bob Hope to go on his television show. And then I went down to Australia. I stood in for the great Max Bygraves for a month, and it was wonderful. I've been all over the place. I met these people, and invariably people are very nice, and they want to have a laugh. And the best today amongst them, a boy who used to be Parky's warm-up guy, and that's where I met him. And I look at them, and they're great. And there's lots of good comics around. Sometimes there might be a debate about their material they use. I don't need to tell you, you don't want to hear F this and F that 40 times, not in my opinion. And the great comics never did that. Morecambe and Wise, Ken Dodd, these were giants of the business. I think the younger boys could have and should have learned from watching them, their style. Hope said to me a funny thing. He said, the first 2 minutes, let them look at the suit. And I thought, yeah, it's nice if someone walks on and I've done it many times. You go, God, that's a super suit he's got on. You do that, and on the talk shows, the best was Parkinson, and his secret. I'll tell you the secret. Many young comics, he listened to you. He didn't just throw it away. He listened to you, and was interested. And a lot of them aren't today. But let them keep going, and they'll learn, and which is smashing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, because there's a chance to develop into a real star, and particularly these days, there's more opportunity to get yourself heard in that first place. But it's getting that longevity, and it's doing something new, or enjoying maybe some favourite gags, or having a conversation if you're a chat show host, as you say, rather than having an ordered list of questions which are sort of fired at people. That doesn't work. You've got to have some sort of feeling and friendship, kinship, and chat with those you're talking to. And I think the way you chat with an audience on this tour, again, I think that it helps to sort of give an evening of togetherness. It's not just a megastar on stage, it's you sharing, and we all share together.
Well, I hope so. I mean, I get asked who've you met and that, and I'm thrilled that I can say I've met Elvis Presley, or I met him when he was alive, and he was very nice. And the great Tom Jones, who is singing better than ever, I promise you that, if he's on anywhere, go and see him. He said, we're going out tonight. This was in Las Vegas, and we went out, and I didn't know who we were going to watch. Then this music sounded. I said, this is an Elvis Presley introduction. And he came out, and I went, dear God. He said, there's your Elvis, Tom said. And we laughed, and he was great. He just, then the thrill of the lifetime was he said that he's invited us around the dressing room, and we went in, and there he was, stood there in his zip-up suit, which I didn't particularly like, and he was just a nice fellow. And he did a thing at the end that showed class. He said goodnight to all the ladies who were in there. They included my wife, Tom Jones's wife, Tom Jones's mum, his sister, and he went round every lady individually, said, good night, ma'am, thank you. Southern gentleman. And I thought, you've got a lot of class. And he was very nice. And the second night, he came in Tom's room, and they ended up on the stage together. There's not many people seen this. It was unique. And they both sang Jailhouse Rock. It was magnificent.
And you can't buy memories like this, but you can hear them and share them. And whether it's Elvis Presley or one of a number of other international music stars, like the kids you went to school with.
Oh, yeah. Well, take John Lennon, for instance. He was a funny lad at school. And he was very, very well read. I mean, a lot of our people don't realize when they see comedians or singers how well read they are. Les Dawson, very well read. Ken Dodd spent a lot of his time in libraries. They liked that, and it was their type of life, I suppose, learning things. I hope I'm not going on too much here.
You can never go on too much, and in fact, people are hoping you're going to keep going for as long as a Ken Dodd gig once they come along and see you at the Grand. They're going to want to be there till 1 a.m.
I asked Doddy, I said, why do you do so long? Oh, well, young man, it doesn't seem that long to me. That was his life. He loved it up there. It's like Tom Jones loves to sing. It's the number one thing in their lives. And mine are mixed with laughter. It is a thing with me, and I love football. I'd have loved to have been a professional football. I tried, and I played a couple of pro games, and just wasn't that standard. But I did enjoy it, and I enjoy nothing more. I saw, Wolverhampton, I saw Billy Wright play when he was the captain of the England team.
Mm-hmm.
And yet you get Bobby Moore, God rest him, he never received a knighthood, and he won the World Cup. He would get a knighthood if it was today, but he was a glorious, he was a nice, these are all nice men I'm talking about, and the ladies as well. I was once in the dressing room with Shirley Bassey, and she said those immortal words to me, get out.
I can imagine Dame Shirley now knows how to look after her space and get herself ready for a performance. But what do you do to get ready for a show?
The guy who runs, we show clips, and he just talks. He said, Do you want to start with this one, that one? And I pick one of the great joys of my life, away from my beloved Palladium, was playing at Wembley on Cup final day. And they had a charity match before the main game. And my team played, and I rang Bobby Moore, who'd retired. I said, would you play? He said, at Wembley, Jimbo, I'll play with anyone. And he led me out on the pitch, I thought, and then he handed me the ball. He said, no, Jim, it's your team, you're the skipper. And I led the team out, talking over my shoulder to Bobby Moore, the great, and I'm talking away, and he kept the whole team down the tunnel, and I was talking to myself. Well, I got home, and all the kids said, who are you talking to, Dad? You look like Simple Simon. And they just roared. And they were great like that, taking the mickey. And if you enjoyed it, it was, I promise you faithfully, and to all your listeners, a great life, and I've been very lucky.
Well, we're lucky to have you in our lives and entertaining, whether it's however anyone's got to your world, whether they've seen you on live from the London Palladium, as I did as a kid. Winner Takes All was another one of my favourites. That was go-to telly. You've always been there at the forefront of these things, haven't you?
Well, I don't know. You say, I can't say those things, but I look and I think, dear, I've worked with them all I wanted to. I mean, there was a fella did 9 minutes time on live television at the Palladium, and he never said a word as a comic. He was in a great film called Monsieur Choulet's Holiday, and he was a mime comic, and he had the place in uproar. And I thought, well, there shows you, James Tarbuck. There's a man not saying anything, and he's got the place in uproar, laughter. It's a wonderful thing to have, that talent.
Well, you certainly have that talent and comedy timing and a plethora of stories to tell. grandtheatre.co.uk is where you can grab your tickets. The date is the 17th of June. You want to be there. It's an evening with Jimmy Tarbuck on stage. 01902 429212 is the box office number. You can grab your tickets there. James Tarbuck, Jimmy, to his mates, and his mates include anyone who's ever seen him on stage. Thank you for having a chat with us. Have an amazing time when you're in Wolverhampton and on the rest of the tour, and keep up the good work, sir, for many, many years to come.
My dear sir, you say nice things, and I appreciate that.
That's your lot for this week. Thank you so much for joining me back with episode 832 next week. I'll see you then. Ta-ra for now.
Goodbye from the milk bar. 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 Yeah. Goodbye from the milk bar. Yeah.